Stay tuned and let's take a look at this Marvel Legends Strange Tales Blackheart Build-A-Figure Wave, Brother Voodoo. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember now you can hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today we continue checking out the Marvel Legends Strange Tales Blackheart Build-A-Figure Wave. As in front of us today, we have Brother Voodoo, a character that does actually make sense for a Strange Tales theme. I will explain more later, but the character himself is someone we have had in the Marvel Legends line during the Hasbro era. It was a while ago though. You have to cast your mind back to about a decade ago in the original Dormammu Build-A-Figure Wave when it was the Doctor Strange movie, and even before that he was part of the Book of Vishanti box set. So we have had him a couple of times, but this is going to be an upgrade, or at least I hope so, with the new pinless joints, some familiar accessories in there, but the face sculpt definitely looks like an improvement. Interchangeable hands, effects, and the Blackheart Build-A-Figure piece, so you can't skip him if you're looking to build the son of Mephisto. So there it is in the new style packaging, Strange Tales on the bottom and on the top, a picture of him on the side, that same image on the back of the box, as well as a tiny write-up that reads, Jericho Drumm carries on his family legacy when he embraces his destiny to become a master of the mystical powers, Brother Voodoo. And then as always you get a list of all the figures in this wave you need to build the Blackheart Build-A-Figure. Today we're reviewing Brother Voodoo. So without further ado, let's get them open. So here we have Brother Voodoo out of the packaging with those mentioned accessories, including the Blackheart Build-A-Figure legs. So you know what to do, subscribe to the channel and come back as we always build and review the Build-A-Figure once we've looked at all the figures in this wave, and I'm definitely looking forward to that one. Brother Voodoo's accessories are familiar, as I mentioned. Now we just have it in purple, this sort of staff, but I'm going to move them to the side just for a second and get the tape measure out so we can see that his dreads do take him over the 6.5 inch scale, so should be bigger than the previous one if I remember correctly. But a quick note on Brother Voodoo, this definitely seems to be a modern take on the costume design. As you will notice, that is the Eye of Agamotto, that is the clasp holding his cape together, which shows us that this is actually the Sorcerer Supreme version of Brother Voodoo when he took over the mantle from Doctor Strange in the late 2000s. So this is like Uncanny Avengers era Brother Voodoo. And if I bring in the previous one really quickly, you will see there is the difference initially. We will do a closer inspection at the end of the video. But yes, this new one is slightly taller. It's on the better, bulkier, pinless body, of course. The bucky cap is a little bit outdated these days. You'll also notice he doesn't have the Eye of Agamotto, so it's a different representation of Brother Voodoo. This new one is definitely a little more accurate and just overall nicer. You can't beat the digital face printing tech. I know the Book of Vishanti version did have the white face paint on. This single pack version never did, but the digital face printing tech is going to win over either of those versions if you have them in your collection, I am sure. But yeah, quick note on Brother Voodoo. As I mentioned at the start of the video, he is a character that does make sense for the Strange Tales line, as in the 1950s there was a set of Strange Tales books about Brother Voodoo, but he was in his old costume, of course. So and let me know in the comments below, would you have liked a Brother Voodoo in his more accurate Strange Tales costume look from back in the day? Now, I for one do prefer this look, especially the Sorcerer Supreme version, but I'm sure there's people out there that would have liked that original look as well. So maybe that's a future action figure, but this is what we're dealing with today. So let's zoom in and take a look. So it seems on closer inspection, this is actually the same head sculpt that we've gotten on the previous Brother Voodoo, with a slight modification to one of the dreads maybe, but otherwise it seems like it is exactly the same sculpt. It is just the digital face printing tech and the application that is different. Obviously now we've got more detail, it looks nicer, but otherwise the actual sculpt of the head, including the dreads, is the same. I can only sort of spot one difference. Of course now he's got the pupils, but you see this dread here, it's sort of cut off just underneath the ear, where on the previous version that dread was like dangling over the chin. So it's like a longer dread just in that one area. So that is the only difference I can see. Otherwise, all the way around, the sculpts of the dreads is the same. It's just that he's trimmed that one dread for whatever reason. But just taking a look at this new head sculpt, again, digital face printing tech on point as always. He has the white face paint. He's got that white sort of emblem on his forehead, and again, looks nice. The dreads head sculpt, if it works, it works. Like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like, it works for the character. I'm not mad at them reusing the head sculpt if it makes sense, and I think on this occasion it does. The digital face printing tech does definitely elevate the really good sculpt that it always was. So I'll throw up a comparison on the screen side by side so you can see what I mean. Obviously, you've got the pupils, the non-pupils, you've got a dread cut off, but otherwise, same sculpt, just different application to the deco, and the new one, slight upgrade, at least in my opinion. My only nitpick with them reusing the head sculpt is, if you're going to give us the same one that we got before, then at least pack in a bonus one. Give us a different facial expression, for example. It would have been good to get a more expressive sort of screaming head, like he's doing one of his mystical spowls or something, just to mix it up and make it a little bit different than the previous release, and give us options for display. So that would be my only nitpick, but otherwise I do like the head sculpt here, and I do like his new cape as well. So as I've showed you already, that is the Eye of Agamotto. No paint detail on that, but you can see the eye sculpted on that gold clasp that is holding the plastic cape together. Now, with some Doctor Strange figures recently, that Eye of Agamotto has been like sculpted into the chest and you haven't been able to remove the cape. Wow, good news everybody. Let me take his head off and the cape is fully removable, like so. The cape completely removable, and it actually has a peg in it, so like so. It's quite a long peg as well, with the holes in the back. So this body, again, someone in the comments can tell me, but it is reused. If you've got the two little holes there, so you actually have to find the hole, which I'm sure you don't have a problem with, and plug it back in like so. Make sure it's over the shoulders. So yes, if you wanted to upgrade to a soft goods cape, then have at it. Absolutely doable without any damage to the action figure. Just take off this cape. But I quite like it. Drapes over the shoulders nicely, and then the Eye of Agamotto is there to represent him being the Sorcerer Supreme. You've got the white sort of design over the chest. You've still got the ab crunch, of course, so we can crunch forward a decent amount, and again back a decent amount even with the cape on. And then I think the bout piece is the same that we got on the previous one, with those three skulls, just now done in a slightly different shade, a bit more chromish, a little bit more silver, if you will, but it is the same as the previous version. Just they had a, to be fair, I do prefer the bonish colour of the previous version rather than the sort of grey of these ones. The actual bout as well, which is like the green, I think is the same, but now it's in a better position, as I think it being on this side is more accurate. So it seems like that's in two pieces. Yeah, it seems like they're two plastic pieces that you can move around independently from one each other, and then the actual swivel for the waist is in between them like so. So yeah, they're definitely two pieces, and you can swivel the waist. But if you move them down, it can cover the waist swivel very nicely, but doesn't hinder the articulation of the crunch. And I like how they've continued the white in the chest. So if you articulate it forward and back, you've still got that white design. The wrists, you do have the gauntlets, which are just a gold gauntlet, which are separate pieces. They will come off if you remove the hands. Completely pinless, double jointed elbows. Again, the previous one was bookie cap, double jointed, but hindered by the big thick wrists. So the new wrists definitely make it better for them to move. I think they are the Vulcan wrists, to be fair. So yeah, double jointed, better range, better aesthetically. Moving down to the legs, you got a little bit of pattern on the legs. You've got the pinless, double jointed knees as well. Can he kick his own ass? Yes, he can if you force it. There is also a boot swivel, even though he's got no boots and it's just all black, but again, hidden within the design. Ankle pivot, rocker. Legs go forward quite a lot, actually. That's quite a big of a high kick for our Sorcerer Supreme. Out, not so much. Back, not so much. But I think standard Marvel Legends articulation, you're going to be able to get this guy in the poses required for the character. The cape may be a little bit hindering while it's on, because it drapes over the shoulders fully, so lifting his arm up may be a little bit annoying. You can get it up, but the cape will just sort of make it a little bit harder. This arm's a little bit more free, as it doesn't drape over the shoulder as much, so this is the one we'll probably use to hold his staff. You will notice he has two trigger finger hands out of the box. Now, he doesn't come with any weapons, but I think Brother Voodoo has used guns in the comics. I can't quite remember, but he does come with 2 trigger finger hands, and I'm assuming that is so he can hold his staff. So let's give that a go. Yes, he can, even though they are trigger finger hands, he will grip on to the staff and actually hold it. He holds it better than the previous one, actually, and the double jointed elbows will actually give him a better range, and he'll be able to hold it a lot more naturally. So it is the exact same mystical staff with those sort of spirits coming out of it, that enchanted sort of stick staff, if you will, where those spirits are coming out, but this time in the purple. The previous one was blue, so it is the exact same sculpt, so you can swap it out if you prefer the blue, but it is the exact same. Obviously his staff was black, this one is more brown with the purple, so it's genuinely up to you with your preference of colour, but it is the same sculpt. And those little skulls are meant to be like spirits that he is controlling, of course, so they're 2 little skulls coming off in a nice translucent purple, so I'm good with that. We also get some extra hands, but unfortunately only 1 of each type. So you know me, I always think that fisted hands should come as standard with Marvel Legends for those neutral or fighting poses, but we unfortunately only get 1 fist, and then we only get 1 sort of open, grabby, expressive sort of hand, which actually works nice when you've got these extra effect pieces you can use for some sort of mystical poses, like so. So again, it would have been nice to get a set of these open, expressive hands, but I guess you can make it work as you can have him with his staff in the background. So I'll probably pose him something like that. He does actually hold the staff a lot better with these new hands and the double jointed elbow, so his poses are definitely going to look nicer and more natural on the shelf compared to the previous version. And again, one more time, these translucent purple effects, I've never seen these before in my life. These have to be brand new, right? That's called British sarcasm, by the way. We've seen these 1,000 times, but to be fair, sometimes they do the job for demonstrating these sort of mystical abilities. So on this occasion, I'm not mad at it. So like I said, I think this guy poses up really nicely. If you're a fan of the character and looking to do an upgrade, then yeah, I would say this is an upgrade. So completely pinless, new head sculpt, he holds his accessories a lot better. He's got the updated cape as well to make it more accurate to a particular time in the comics. So yeah, if I bring in the previous one now, actually holding the blue staff, and again, he could never actually hold it that well because the hands were always a very loose grip. If I try and zoom in here, again, I just think the body proportions are better on the new Brother Voodoo because he can like also embody the spirit of his brother that gives him like double strength, so he needs to be a little bit bulkier and chunkier. So I don't think the Bucky Cat body ever did Brother Voodoo justice anyway, so I do actually like the bulkier body over here, completely pinless now. So yeah, overall it is an upgrade. At least for me. Still would have liked a complete set of hands and an extra expressive head, mind you, but there's no denying that he looks really good even in an actual pose like this. So let me bring in Doctor Strange then, the person he took over the mantle of, I was about to say Squadron Supreme, of Sorcerer Supreme. This Doctor Strange, again, is okay. It holds up okay, but the legs are terrible. I definitely think Legends can do a better job with a better Strange body. I know we've just got one in the Wong pack, but I'm not a fan of his sort of washed out skin tone because he's possessed by Dormammu or something. We need a better Strange in his classic attire, maybe one where the cape wasn't stuck to him. I don't know. Strange is one they haven't nailed yet, but this is probably the best we've got currently. Apologies, I often just find myself rambling nonsense during these videos, so ignore me, don't worry, I cut out most of it. Here we have 2 females in the mystical realm in the Doctor Strange-ish world. We have Clea and Nico. Here we have some recent Marvel Legends from the 85th anniversary lineup. It is of course Ghost Rider and Venom. Here we have Blade and Deadpool, and if I remember correctly, then Brother Voodoo was definitely part of the Uncanny Avengers while they were being led by Deadpool when he was famous. I think Steve Rogers was an old man. I know Rogue was part of the team. I can't quite remember. I'll throw up an image of that team if I remember to in post. But yeah, Brother Voodoo can definitely be posed up with some Avengers on display as well, is my point. Here we have some of the more recent Marvel Legend body types with Black Widow and Vulcan. And at first I thought he shared more parts with Vulcan, but it seems like it's just the arms. The legs are definitely not the same. The torso isn't the same. So maybe just the pinless arms are from Vulcan. other pieces are from elsewhere, you guys in the comments are always better at that game than me, because if I say what they're from, you'll correct me anyway, so you may as well just tell me. Here we have the other figures in the Strange Tales Blackheart Build-A-Figure wave. I've already reviewed on the channel, so remember, there's a playlist where I'm going to put all these reviews in one convenient place for you to check out, so go and find that on the videos tab on my channel. But here we have Dracula and Halvorine. Reviews are up on the channel now. And of course, let's wrap up with some of the Who crew. So we have Frogman, Tigra and Hydra Bob. And then last, but absolutely never least, here we have Captain Britain and Hal Fire Hank. So final thoughts on this Marvel Legends Strange Tales Blackheart Build-A-Figure wave. Brother Voodoo. Now it's a subtle upgrade, but it is an upgrade all the same. I actually really like this figure now I've got it in hand. Absolutely looks better, more natural aesthetically, composed better as well compared to the previous version. I like the character and I like how we can now accurately represent him in this sort of era on the shelf. Now granted, for the Strange Tales wave, it would have made more sense to have Brother Voodoo in his original look, something we have never had as an action figure, full stop, period. I just personally prefer this look, and I've read more comics with this look of Brother Voodoo, so this will always be my mind's eye regardless of how he originally appeared. But that would have been an interesting way to go for this Strange Tales wave. But to be fair, the whole wave is loosely themed on Strange Tales. Not all the characters make sense for that particular comic. Anyway, I digress. I told you I ramble in these videos. If you like Marvel Legends, however, you are in the right place. Check out the videos tab, find the playlists, but most importantly, please, 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 hit that subscribe button, hit all on the notification bell, don't miss out on a video, and please hit that join button, become a channel member, either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Honestly, support the channel. You get to be a part of the channel, get to be on a live stream. Check them out. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. I'm on Twitter or X at Dan Who Reviews, and I will of course see you on the next one.